Today, it's a very exciting day. You know how when you have an idea and you think about that idea and you plan for that idea and you schedule things that will make that idea work? Well, this is the start of that idea. My name is Shelby and welcome to my channel. The purpose of this video is basically to give a little bit of an introduction to what the heck we're even doing here. Why are we making a channel? Why are we making videos? What's the purpose? So, this video is all about giving you a little bit of a background on me, my health issues that I have faced in the past and faced currently, and what I do to help make my health situations not so severe, not so life-altering, so that regardless of the challenges that are in my personal life, I still get to have a really wonderful, fabulous life. So this is just the intro to the channel to tell you what it's all about. So let's get started. So let me give you more insight. I have seizures. I've had them since I was 14 or 15. Never had any answer as to why they happen. It's just always been something that I've had to deal with, and some seizures are pretty mild and it doesn't really affect the entire day. Some of them are bad and they infect the entire day and then some. Eventually I will get more into my story, things that have happened, things that have resulted because of seizures. By no means whatsoever do I want this channel to turn into something that's like a plea for sympathy, because I'm okay. So this is by no means something that I'm doing because I want people to feel sorry for me. When this started, I was 14. I was young and very unexperienced in life-altering tragic events. I'd never had anything so significant and so permanent. So when they told me, you have seizures and you'll probably forever have them, and we may never figure out why, and they could kill you tomorrow or you could live to be 150. We don't know. And it came out of nowhere. And I mean, if I'm being completely honest, at 14, the worst thing that I could think of happening, besides family issues, and I'm not even going to get into that because that was just a nightmare. At 14, the worst thing that I thought could really happen to me, and hopefully this isn't like too graphic, but I really thought the worst thing that would ever happen was starting my period at school. At 14, that was my biggest nightmare. When you're a 14-year-old girl, that does feel like the end of the world. It really does. And then the world kind of halted when the doctor said, you have seizures. Something's wrong with your brain. And she took it a step farther when I told her I had a dream of going to college and being a successful adult. And the doctor that I was seeing, she basically just laughed. She was like, you don't need to worry about that right now. College is not important. Having a successful career is not important. Let's just see if you make it past high school. And I was like, what do you mean make it past high school? And she was like, we don't know what's wrong with your brain, so we don't even know if you're going to graduate high school. You may not be alive to graduate. And I so just vividly remember it felt like the world stopped turning and everything halted. And I hadn't even considered that seizures were going to be something that were going to kill me. And I especially didn't think that I wouldn't even live through high school. Like, there was never anything in my life that it's just, I mean, I don't think it's a selfish mindset. You just don't think it's going to happen to you. I think it's kind of just more of a thing of having a positive mindset and not thinking that horrible medical life events will change your life forever. But if I'm being completely honest, that doctor, while I don't think she was a good doctor, she has been one of the biggest motivational factors for my entire life. Because she gave me this long list of basic things that most humans can do. And she told me, you can't do any of this. She said, as soon as I was eligible, I needed to sign up for disability. I needed to sign up for food stamps. I needed to never have a job. Don't go to college. Finishing high school wasn't really important because I might die before that anyways. Don't work out. She said, never run, no cardio. No, obviously if that's your life setup, you're not going to be buying a house. You're not going to be making any major life purchases. She told me not to have kids, I asked her, like, what's left? Like, what's left of an adult life that I'll be doing? And she was like, well, you'll just need to take it easy. You'll just need to stay at home and, that's it. Collect disability and food stamps and then die. You don't go anywhere. You don't make any significant life accomplishments. Basically, seizures define you, and they will prevent you from making or reaching any goals that you've ever set for yourself, ever. And at first, that broke my heart. When I was sitting in that doctor's room, my heart was breaking because it seemed like my world was ending, because it wasn't all of the dreams that I had as a little 14-year-old girl of going to college and having just a nice, successful life. I wanted to be a vet at the time, which I don't want to be anymore. But that was my goal. I wanted to be a veterinarian. And everything was just crumbling around me. Exercising, running was a huge coping mechanism. Didn't exactly grow up in the most stable environment, the most calm, peaceful environment. So when things got to be too much, I'd just go on a run and escape. And she was just telling me all these things. You can't do them anymore. So that pissed me off. At first my heart was broken, and as I was leaving that doctor's office, I was pissed. Because what kind of doctor tells this little 14-year-old girl, your entire life is over. No more dreams, no more goals, no accomplishments, no nothing for the rest of your life, which should be a lot because you're only 14. You'll be sitting on the couch, sitting at home, doing nothing, ever. And no offense to anyone who has to do that, where that is their life. If that's what your life involves and that's what your life entails, then that's that. For me, that wasn't acceptable. That was not something that I could just, like, okay, well, life's over. I couldn't do it. I couldn't accept that. And as I was walking out to the car from the medical office, all I could think was, what the bleep, 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 bleep is the point of not doing anything in your life with the mindset of, as long as I do nothing, I go nowhere, I accomplish nothing, I don't even go to the grocery store, I never make my own money, I do nothing with my life, with the purpose of having a longer life. What's the point? That's the conclusion I came to. This doctor is telling me to have a completely unfulfilled life in order for it to be longer. So it's kind of a quantity over quality. In my mind, mine only, if I followed what that doctor had said, my life would have no quality. And I live a nice, long, horrible life that just wasn't meant for me. Basically what I had decided by the time I got to the car. F that. Just pretend like that didn't even happen. Nothing's changing. I'm not changing anything about my life. If on the way to finding a life that has quality, that's more important. A happy life where I feel like I have used my time to the fullest to fulfill absolutely everything that I could with the long or short amount of time that I have. So, that's why I'm here. For my whole life, I've always wondered, why did this happen to me? What's the purpose of this? Why? And this new project, I'm hoping this is a why. I'm hoping this answers my lifelong question of what's the purpose of me having seizures for my whole life? What's the purpose of all the pain that I've been through with seizures? All of the hard times with seizures. What's the purpose? And I hope that I'm on my way to figuring out the purpose. And I hope that these videos, this project where I'm kind of putting it all out there, is helpful to other people who have seizures. Because for me, finding people who have seizures, finding people who relate to my situation has never happened. It's usually a thing of, oh, this person has a seizure, hasn't had seizures for 10 years. Which makes me very happy for them, but it's not something I can relate to. I had a seizure this morning, So for me, they're pretty common, and they've become more common here recently, which is not fun, and it's very scary. If in the process of sharing what I've been through, it can help someone else with seizures or who has a loved one with seizures live a little bit of an easier, more hope-filled life, then every single seizure I have had up to this moment, including the one this morning, about 5 hours ago, will be worth it. It'll answer all of my questions of why. Because I don't necessarily handle my seizures in the traditional method. I don't take tons of prescription medications. I don't like how they make me feel. For me, I follow a keto carnivore diet. I am trying to get more towards carnivore because that really reduces the number of seizures I have. So, with this, my goal is to have a lot of what I eat in a day videos so you can get more ideas. because sometimes it's really hard to know what you should eat, especially with things like sugar alcohols and weird hidden carbs. It's hard to understand exactly what is low carb, what's not, what's high fat, what's not, what's good, what's bad. I have been doing keto for 5 years, and then just this year I started incorporating more of a carnivore mindset. And so far I really, really like it because you get to eat all of the things that people splurge on. And they're like, you know what? It's a cheat day. I'm having a bacon burger with eggs and cheese. I can have that every single day for weeks at a time, and it's totally fine. I get to eat all of the things that people wish they could eat, but they're told it's unhealthy, so they don't. Well, I've tried to make this brief, just kind of a channel introduction on where this is going, my ideas for it all, what my goal is, and why I'm doing this. My main why is just to help people, just to allow people to see that even if they started having seizures, even if their doctor tells them it's the end of the world and you should never have hope again, it's not the case. I'm now 29, so I've been having seizures for a very long time. And I know that it's scary, but there is hope. No matter what your doctor tells you, there is still hope outside of seizures, and you can still have a very good life outside of seizures. I know that the general public typically doesn't agree with that. And it's just not true. And that's what I am here to show you. You can have a wonderful, beautiful life. Even when things do not go as planned, even when life is a little bit harder than you were expecting, it's all about your mindset. And yes, I have seizures. And no, I don't like it. I guess I'll end this with a quote that I really, really like and I really, really relate to. I am very fond of the bodybuilding community. I like the mindset of bodybuilding, where there's a group of people who are going to work this hard, and then you're going to work this hard. You're going to take it to a whole new level because you just have a higher standard set for yourself, and I really like that. So, IFBB Pro Seth Feroce, one of the things he says just all the time is, you don't have problems. You just have more work to do. And I understand that maybe some people wouldn't relate that to seizures. You know, they're like, no, you actually do have a problem. But it's not the case. I wouldn't consider it to be a problem. It's just a challenge. And it's just a challenge for me to get around it and make the best that I can with the positives and negatives that I am given in my own personal life. So, you don't have problems. You just have more work to do. So, put your little nosy to the grindstone. Get to work. I absolutely hope that I can make this YouTube channel everything that it needs to be and everything that you need it to be, because that's my goal. I really, really, really want to help people. Let's get started.